What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to another video by yours truly. Sorry if my audio may sound differently. I was cleaning my Rodecaster Duo and I might have tweaked some settings on complete accident as I was trying to clean the dust off of it. That said, this video, just the title alone spoke volumes for me, and it prompted me to want to give a fresh reaction to it because I think this is something that is probably when you view the gacha space as a whole as a problem, I think it comes down to this particular holy moment right here. Forgot to turn off my console settings. This particular title right here, you're maintaining accounts, you're not playing games. And I think this is a problem probably a bunch of us struggle with or have with gacha games. Once you get out of that honeymoon phase, once you get done with the little story update, it literally just becomes a micromanagement of maintaining accounts, especially if you're playing multiple gacha games. For me in particular, I'm playing Wuthering Waves, Arknights Infield, and Neverness to Everness right now, and it becomes a let me log on here and do these chores, these weeklies, let me log on here, do these chores and these weeklies, let me log on here, and to the point where it's just wait, hold on, bro, can I even call that playing a game at this point? You know what I mean? So let's check out, see what this guy has to say. It's only 5 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm just curious to see where he's going with it because it really is a good title.
Into our account. I love gacha games. They give us daily progression, a sense of meaning to our accounts, a sense of belonging in a world and in a community where our efforts make a difference. But sometimes it can be a bit much. And today, what I want to discuss is if we're playing too many, and if we are, how do we make the decision of which to cut? I'm going to get rid of 2 that I'm playing right now and take my current games from 5 to 3 and discuss the process I'm making in that.
Yeah, I'll be real, man. If I wasn't getting paid, if I wasn't running a business here, there's no way on hell on God's green earth I would be playing more than 1 gacha game. I would say, you know what? More than 2 gacha games. I would say 2 gacha games at most. Don't get me wrong. I'd still continue to try some of these newer gacha games that come out. I try all the newer ones, but I would always come back to, okay, out of these 5, what 2 am I going to keep? Not that the other ones that I'm going to drop are inherently bad. It's just the fact that playing more than 1 or 2 becomes just an account maintenance fest, which feels horrible.
The first thing I want to discuss is mental load. Just how much work is it in your head to go in and do your daily chores? Because that's what these games are at the end of the day. We have a lot of daily chores that we need to deal with.
And it's very mundane and tedious. And that's the problem. The daily chores aren't that long, but doing it day in and day out for multiple games, it's mind-numbing.
And it's not just for dailies, it's for weeklies, it's for events, it's for stories, for patches. All this is extra load that you need to organize, and sometimes it can be just too much and it stops becoming a game and it starts becoming work. If a game feels too much like work to you and you're just logging in and you're hating it every day, this is probably a good indicator to start dropping back the game.
Well, here's what I'd say. I think dropping the game is one solution. The other solution is playing the gacha games the way they should be played, which is you play them as soon as the update comes out. You experience the story if that's what you're interested in, or you experience the characters if that's what you're interested in. But after you do that, you don't fall into the trap of these gacha games of, oh, I gotta log in every single day and do my dailies, weeklies, and stuff like that. And if you're a free-to-play player who's thinking, well, if I don't do that, then I can't get the characters because the game doesn't require resources like that, it's too expensive, you shouldn't be playing gacha games. They're dead ass. You literally need to be doing something better. If expensive is in your mentality of playing gacha games, stop playing gacha games, bro. It's clear that you need higher and more organized priorities versus trying to play a gacha game that's too expensive for you and spending all your time just to try an attempt at getting a character. This is what I call spending your time unwisely. I think it's important that people understand that these gacha games are designed to get you to go to the shop and spend money. They're designed to pressurize you, to have you to instill FOMO into you. And if you're going in every single day, dailies, doing this day in and day out, all of it starts to add up. It's like chip damage, man. But if you're somebody who understands how these games function in all capacities, then you know You got to play them in moderation. You can't be logging in every single day because you will experience burnout because it's a tedious and mundane grind. And the best way to go about it is to play the core components of the game, which typically last 48 to 72 hours of a patch update, and then you F off. Sometimes you might skip a whole patch. Skip an entire patch sometimes, that's okay, bro, because that break is going to leave you with a bit more excitement when they come and drop those banger patches.
Second is FOMO. What are you going to miss out on? Is it a case of maybe it gets better? Is there going to be a character that comes out later that I'm really looking forward to? You might not like that character. You might not like how they play. You might not like the game design, the mechanics of the end game when you get to it. I feel like there's a lot of what ifs in these games, and if you're not enjoying the game as it currently stands, I think it's fine to take a break and come back to it once it's got a chance to prove itself to you. You don't need to put all your effort into it and then get disappointed and feel like you have to stay a slave to it forever.
Yeah, the sunk cost fallacy thing. I forget about that a lot. With a lot of you guys, y'all are guilty of the sunk cost fallacy. Me personally, I'm not. Me personally, I have no problem dropping a game once I feel like I've hit that wall. I have a problem returning to games once they do pick up and get good. Like a couple of games, like CZN has dropped apparently one of the most incredible patches ever. And HSR in recent times, I liked what they have been doing with their game in terms of not only story, but the characters, the buffs to the older units and such. But coming back, like actually committing to a return, it's probably one of the hardest things for me to do. I'll be honest. I can't return to gacha games. It's so hard for me to do.
Next up is competition. What is your game giving you at the moment that no other game is giving you? Does it have unique mechanics? Is it in a completely different setting? Is it giving you an experience that is unmatched in the rest of the industry? Because we've got a lot of games out now that seem to be very similar, and unless they've got standout mechanics or features that really appeal to you, I would say this is a way to consider which of those to drop.
Yep. And that's what probably, coincidentally enough, him showing CZN on the screen is so cool, because CZN is a game that truly offered a different experience from all other gacha games in the space. It really is just Slay the Spire, the gacha game, right? And that is something that you won't get out of Wuthering Waves, Genshin Impact, or HSR. You will only get that experience in CZN. That said, it being a gacha also extracts away from a lot of the roguelike systems that give replay value. So gacha in and of itself usually ends up taking away from that replay value in these games, but it is important that games or new gacha games on the horizon try to do things vastly different than the pre-existing ones we're already playing, because of that tedious and mundane thing we're already used to doing in those other games.
Then there's the story and the end game, and I'm putting these together because most players are in either of these camps. You either care about the story, the lore, and how things unfold, or you care about building your characters, making them the best they can be. I feel like if you're a story player, it's very easy to just take a break between patches. If it's starting to die down, it's starting to get boring, it's fine. You don't necessarily.
It's also very easy to just say, oh, I'm in this game for the story, and this game's story is ass, I'm good. Then again, if it's a 1.0, you got to understand that's just 95% of the gacha games, if not 99% of the gacha games out there. A lot of them start to pick up, and just out of nowhere, they get better. The pacing, the narrative, the voice acting, I don't know what happens every single time behind the scenes, but this just seems to be a reoccurring thing in the space.
Necessarily need to log in every day. You don't need to optimize everything. You're going to miss a few summons, but it is what it is. You're playing for the story anyway. You don't need everything. But for us endgame players, that we really want to optimize everything, we get stressed out very easily by missing any kind of rewards. So we start doing things like the shitty events that nobody would ever in their right mind do unless they give you something.
You know what I'm saying? And there lies the problem. I try to tell people all the time, these events are garbage. Why are they garbage? Because the only reason you are doing them most of the time is to just get that little pull currency at an attempt to acquire a character. You are doing the event because it's good gameplay design, because it's genuinely fun and addicting. It's just for a pool currency. This is, and here's again another gotcha trap. They want you to do these things, and spend your time, or you can say, F that. That event is so booty cheeks. All of them are so annoying. I'm not enjoying them. I'm just gonna spend money, right? It's time versus money a lot of the times in these gotcha games, and it's probably the most emphasized genre in gaming that does it with this much pressure, FOMO, and like bullshit practice. So that said, though, sometimes, some events come along that are actually quite enjoyable. And in fact, off the top of my head, Woo-Wah, in my humble opinion, I know a lot of these guys don't agree with me in these regards, but Woo-Wah's been doing a lot of like little fun events that I personally have been enjoying. Are they perfect? Are they god tier? No, but they're not just outright, I am literally not enjoying this event and in any capacity, right? They're kind of enjoyable to a degree, but for the most part, yeah, it's a time sink.
And I feel for this type of player, you've really got to understand which games you want to commit to at endgame, because you've only got so much effort.
Wait, hold on, man. This boss looks cool. This is what's it called, isn't it? It just came out. Mongol Stardive. I'll be honest, that boss looks freaking cool. I'm definitely not gonna play the game, but it looks cool.
So much motivation, and it can't go into the end game of every single game that comes out. And that is why I'm making these cuts today, because I'm playing 5 different games at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna cut 2 of them out. They're Honkai Star Rail, Chaos Zero Nightmare, Mongol Stardive, Arknights Enfield, and Neverness to Everness.
Oh, now which 2 is my guy going to cut out? Man, if I had to guess, I feel like Honkai Star Rail, because it's so easily accessible on a mobile device, it's easy to maintain. It's easy to keep up with. I think that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to what games are pretty easy to maintain, with one little outlier being what he just genuinely enjoys with his own preference, right? That could be any game. But I think in terms of maintenance, I don't know, man. CZN's a big time sink, right? I don't know how much of a CZN fan he is. I loved CZN, but it's a big time sink. I think time sink is what's going to come down to. I think the ones that are most likely to get cut is Arknights Enfield and Mongol Stardive. I could be wrong. That's why I'm doing this. I'm curious to see what he picks. Arknights Enfield, Mongol Stardive. If I had to change it up, do 2 different options, Chaos Zero Nightmare and Mongol Stardive. Let's see what he says.
I'm making the cut of Enfield.
Okay, I was right the first time. Enfield's a commitment. It is. And it's also niche if you don't enjoy the factory system, if you're not enjoying the combat system, because the combat system is also a unique approach as opposed to what people are used to. Excuse me, as opposed to what people are used to in the space. It's a hit or miss type of ordeal. It's a hit or miss with the factory. It's a hit or miss with the combat system. And then, of course, if you're not enjoying the story, then it's just an easy drop off.
Because there's no end game at the moment. We don't have any solid idea of what or when we're getting it and what it's going to feel like. And I'm just not confident enough in the developers at the moment.
Hey, you know what? That's completely fine. I'm sure a lot of people are joining you in that sentiment, brother.
They might surprise me, but I'm willing to stop playing every day and take a break and come back later when they can prove to me that the end game is worth playing, that it's worth my time. And the second game I'm actually removing is Mongol Stardive.
I called that one, bro. It's just, it ain't got the juice, bro. You know what I mean? It just ain't got the juice like that. Plus, if you're keeping CZ in, bro, yeah, that's a big commitment.
Because it is a great game. This game, story-wise, I would highly suggest you play this if you want a challenge, because the storyline is just boss fight to boss fight to boss fight.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I don't know how we call that a story experience. It's more so like just a dynamic of progression on what you can expect, but sure.
And the boss fights are not a joke. They are actually quite challenging. And you will enjoy this experience going up to max level. But then once you're at max level, there's not really much to say about it. And it's a lot of grind, a lot of work, and it doesn't really feel satisfying. But the leveling experience was fantastic. So they're the 2 cuts I'm making. If you're also thinking about making a cut, What game did you cut and why? What was your process?
Yeah, I think this was a fantastic video. I personally think the game I don't think I'll ever cut is probably going to be Wuthering Waves. It's a simple dynamic for me. I've given up on its endgame entirely. I've given up on endgame in all gacha games entirely. I've just come to learn that gacha in and of itself will always hinder the endgame experience. I don't care. And if you're thinking I'm going to have a great endgame experience in a gacha game, I think you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for disappointment. The reason being, guys, is gacha games overgeneralize and try to cater to too many casual players. And the problem with doing that means you cannot make the game too in-depth. You cannot make the game overly sweaty, overly complex, or challenging. Because if you do, then you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot for your back. At least that's how they view it. They're not the type that's based, meaning I'm going to design this game no matter who is complaining about its difficulty, its intricacies, its complex in depth, its replay value and stuff. I am still going to do that. That's not how a lot of the gacha game players or companies function, especially the investors. They're more about the easy dollar, what's going to appease everyone, what is sustainable and doable for not just people who have time, but for people who don't have time as well. It's like you're in this medium. I mean, you're getting yanked both ways, and so you're trying to appease so many people to the point where the in-game experience will always come off as incredibly shallow because of these variables. So like, I think, the best case scenario is to find you those games that you enjoy playing in the gacha space in particular, for like 3 to 4 to 5 days, be it story, be it the new character, be it a little bit of in-game, like here and there, a little mixture of it all, do some events and a little bit of account maintenance, and then you F off and you either go play some real games, you either spend time with your friends, family, and loved ones, touch some grass, whatever the case, but you allocate that time towards other avenues, be it in different genres of gaming or different sectors of life. You don't do the whole, I'm going to continue doing these mundane and tedious tasks in these games that weren't designed to be done every day, but yet they do want you logging in every day just to slip to an investor. It's a slippery slope. And I think it leads people down a rabbit hole of boredom, frustration, and just sheer, I want to say, just walking without knowing where the hell you're even going. I think that's the best way for me to explain that. Anyways, this was a fantastic video. This was by a guy called Grounded Gacha. Never seen a video from this dude ever. I enjoyed it. I'll be sure to link it down below in the description box if you guys want to check it out as well. That's going to wrap up this video. That was a good reaction.